What is the thing in your life that is not working? What is the challenge that you're having or the struggle that you're having that you're hoping maybe constellation work can help with?
Always felt like I was like semi-depressed. It's I've never been like in a full depression where I couldn't get up, but it's been like for my whole life, like lack of joy and and also desire, the will to, yeah, all kind of desires, from sexual desires to this desire to, yeah, I want to do this in the world. I want to mm, yeah, have these goals and just fight for them. It's been, I couldn't find the will or the motivation to do it. It's so yeah, it's just been in many ways I've had a very privileged life, but I just never felt that I was completely in it. It was yeah, like there's a distance between me and the rest of the world.
And
Yes,
this is your entire life? Is this from a certain age, or is this ever since you
it,
can remember?
it's from when I can remember, and it's been. I mean, I have done a lot of therapy the last 20 something years. I even became a psychotherapist. I don't work as a psychotherapist, but I did 5 years of very intensive group therapy, and I've done a lot of individual therapy, a lot of body work, and a lot of expression with singing, dancing, and fighting, and so I've done and all kind of ayahuasca and all kind of holotropic respiration, and so I've done my share of and it's made me recover parts of myself. I mean, life has definitely become, I'm more present. I'm more, yes, I'm more here. But still, yeah, I have a sense that, yeah, it's, well, that I'm really not here. And now I just turned 50, and as I have this dread that I will, yeah, just live like this for the rest of my life.
Okay. How about do you have brothers and sisters?
I have an older brother, 1.5 years older, and a sister who's 6 years younger than me. And they don't seem to have this heaviness in their existence that I have. I mean, they have the issue, of course, like most, if not all people, but they seem to be more alive and more engaged in life.
Did your mother have any other pregnancies that you know about?
Yes, she had, before my brother was born, she had a miscarriage.
So this miscarriage would have been the oldest child.
Yes.
Mhm. What are the circumstances around that? Do you know?
No, actually, no. I'm not familiar with why.
Do you know if it had an impact on your mother, or how many months or anything like
No,
that?
I think it was pretty early on. I think it was in the first weeks, or within the first 12 weeks. Like it was, yeah.
Okay. How about your mother's vitality or your father's vitality? Like, how are they with life force?
My father is more outgoing, more social. He's very active and always even though I think my parts of my trouble is from his lineage, from his side, my disconnection with him. But he's very outgoing, but not very. Well, he's very emotional, immature, and incapable of speaking or showing, at least with men. I mean, his issue is with his father. So with women, he has a very sexualized relationship. I mean, every time he speaks about a woman, it's how she looks, and he's in many ways a very shallow man, but very outgoing and very social, and have a lot of drive. And my mother is more, I think she had a depression when I was very young, and she's a little bit more available emotionally, but still, like many, they had no insight to how to deal with their emotions, and she's a little bit more mature than him, but still, and she's much more available emotionally.
Do you know any of the circumstances around her depression? The whats or the whys, anything like that?
Yeah, I was gonna ask her, but I haven't been able to speak to her for 3 weeks because she has been in the hospital and out of reach with tubes in every. So she almost lost her life a few weeks ago. So, and can't even speak on the phone. So I was gonna interview her for this, but she seems to be recovering slowly.
Good.
So no, I don't really know what caused it. I think overwhelmed with 2 kids, I can imagine, but why she, I don't know.
How old was she? How long did it last?
She was 27. I think it lasted for 6 months, a year. I'm not sure.
Anything tragic happen on your mom's side of the family? Anything notable? Early deaths, big losses, family stuff?
Not that I know of. No. I mean, no, I don't.
Okay.
I don't know.
What about your dad's side?
Well, he had a father who was very, very traumatized. So his father was in the families is considered a bit of a tyrant, but he was more of. I mean, once my father he got to use a car for a vacation or something, and afterwards he even had to pay for the how do you say it, for using the tires for I mean, you understand me. He never physically abused my father, but he was very cruel at times, and my mother is convinced that my grandfather, my father's father, was sexually abused when he was a child by a friend of the family. He went on some excursion with, and the fact that my grandfather's mother wanted a a girl and sometimes dressed him up as one. Yeah. So there was no love between my father and his father.
Okay.
And there was a lot of love between my father and me for the first few years. But then at some point, I'm not sure which age, then he just turned his back completely. I mean, he's always provided, but all emotions and all connection just from what seems from one day to the next went away. So some trauma kicked in at that age. I'm not sure.
Okay. What would be a good result of a constellation? How would your life look differently after, if we do a constellation, we have good results for you?
Yeah, I think this cloud lifted some, and I would feel more joy.
Good. All right. So let's start. And everybody has seen the work, so you can choose anyone, although not everybody has seen it online, but you will pretty quickly. Choose a representative for yourself and choose a representative for life force, maybe. You can change those words if you want on the life force piece, but something to represent that vitality that you're speaking to.
I'm not sure. Could you repeat that, Jack? Or were you speaking to me? Or
Yep. Yeah, choose someone to represent yourself. Let's start there. So look around your screen and see who.
Jack, your screen froze.
Oh, okay. Well, let's see.
No, I didn't freeze for me.
It was for me too. All as well.
I think it was Janice's on her side.
I'm sorry, I was having trouble hearing. Would you repeat the last couple of statements?
Sure. Thomas, choose someone to represent yourself or feels like the right person for the job. Can be male, female, does not matter.
I'll go with Tracy.
Great. And then choose someone to represent life force or vitality. And you can change the words as you want for what they represent.
Barbara.
Great. So Tracy and Barbara, just as if we were doing a constellation in person, you will stand and see where you want to be. See where you're drawn in your room. See if you notice anything around your room. See if you notice one another, Barbara and Tracy. So, and see in position-wise where you want to be in your room. Are you near or are you far? So in a way, Thomas, I would say that what we're able to do through constellation work is channel the energies that live within your body, that live within your family field, and actually shift them in some way while we're bringing them to life. In a way where hopefully when the constellation is complete, those shifts stay in place and you just have different energies that live within your body.
I found myself facing south. Yeah, yeah, in front of the window, facing south.
Anything else?
Uh, it seems, yeah, I was drawn to the window to have some light. On my body. I think maybe felt like so I could see more. I
Okay.
had light on me, but also so I could have a clear view.
Thank you. Barbara, as life force, how are you?
So I feel, well, I'm in the center of the room, like I belong in the center. And my hands and my feet are tingling. They're just strong, like there's roots coming out of them. And there were two things about being in this spot that made it feel right. One is light is coming over me, like light shines upon me. And then I see through I've never lost sight of this picture behind me of the world, the beauty, just the magnificence of this picture, the mountains, the sky, and the birds flying above. And it's interesting, there's a light force picture that most can't see. There's an eagle getting a fish out of the water, and it's powerful and alive and thriving. And even as I talk about it, I'm shaking. And when I look to Thomas's representative, is blurry. I see that he's looking at the light, but I really, really want them to look at me. I want them to face me, that the light, they're looking the wrong way. Feels like they're looking the wrong way. And instead of turning to the representative, I keep wanting to look at Thomas. And I see him wholly. And I'm confused about them. I want the representative to come into view.
Thomas, choose a representative for light. The light.
Light, Janice.
Janice, as always, be open to whatever may want to show up through you. Don't know if you want to, come through as that or if something else shows up. Since both of them have spoken about the importance of the light, it just has me curious to see if there's some dynamic there, something important. So bringing energy in of the light, which could show up differently. And for the two of you who are already in Thomas's rep and Vitality Life Force, just notice if anything changes for you. Thomas's rep, Tracy, how are you?
I found myself, so I'm facing south, and there's a mountain range, and I found myself looking at the farthest range, one of the highest peaks here. There's snow, it's distant, but there's like some curiosity. I can yeah, I'm feeling some kind of a curiosity and like like there's a, it's far away, but I feel like I'm longing to be there, like I'm there, and yeah, it's like the farthest, coldest peak over here.
Yeah, thank you. So Thomas, as you see this just begin to play out, what's coming up for you? How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm feeling a lot of energy in my like excitement, like a bubbly energy. Also a little bit frightened. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Barbara, Life Force Vitality, what's up?
So as light came in, I felt I should be closer to the light, but as it did, I just felt bigger and stronger. Like I feel powerful. I feel so, I feel omnipotent. Right? And as Thomas was talking, I feel so much energy. My hands and my body are tingling. And as he said, he could feel the energy. It's as if it just increased in me, and it just continues. It just feels big. I don't feel the fear. I feel excitement.
Thank you. Janice, you come in as the light. What do you notice?
I noticed right away that I too positioned myself relative to the south and the light. And the feeling I have is I'm something very, very big, that it felt, I was pleased when I felt Thomas turning to me, towards me. I feel as though I represent what he's seeking.
Hey, what?
That I represent what Thomas is seeking.
Okay, thank you.
And also when Life Force talked about coming in, that felt that felt like a fit. It's like, in fact, I was checking myself. Where's Life Force? And yes, Life Force needs to be engaging with me. So I feel like an overreaching something. Whatever I'm representing is a very overreaching, which includes Thomas and his life force, and a life force. Thomas and a life force.
Thank you. So there's something, Thomas, too, it's striking me around this south thing. Does that mean anything to you? Two of them mentioned facing south.
Well, the fact that I'm from Denmark and I moved to the south of Spain, closer to the light. And as Janice was speaking, I noticed I got some tears in my eyes, or at least some more emotional. Especially when she said that that was what I was seeking. At that moment, I felt seen, or it resonated in me.
Good. Thank you. Choose, and so with constellations, you know, for those of you students on this that are learning, all I'm doing is one next step. And okay, I mentioned the light a couple times. Okay, I'm going to bring in the light. Now, at this point, I'm not trying to figure a constellation out. I'm simply trying to get all the pieces on the board. And that usually takes 45 minutes or so. And then from there, I would try to put the pieces together in a good order. So the next thing I'm curious about, Thomas, or I think is important, is I'd love to have you bring in a representative for what your representative is looking at. And it's kind of this far away mountain peak thing. So just choose someone to represent what you're looking at, because what the constellation showing us so far is that your representative is looking at something else. You, at a deep level, are looking at something else energetically, not looking at life force.
Yeah, I'm not sure what. Yeah, I'm not sure. Part of me says nature, but I'm not sure that's it.
You don't have to know what it is. All you have to do is choose someone to represent it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, Milton.
Okay.
And Milton, do you have your headphones, or are you going to do no headphones?
I don't have any headphones at work.
Okay. All right, so we are bringing in a representative for that. And Milton, I want you to imagine yourself standing outside of that window that Tracy is looking at, or right in front of it. It doesn't matter, but in some way representing where that is energetically. And Tracy, just notice as we bring in a representative in front of you, could be far off in the distance, as you've mentioned. Let me let this settle in, and then Tracy, I'll come to you next, but let's settle in for a moment first. Actually, Janice, I'm more drawn to you first. What's going on?
I felt I wanted to turn and focus on Milton's representation.
So you're drawn to Milton, okay?
And I'm drawn to move closer, or I feel like I'm falling into the window.
Who are you falling into?
The window. All I see is the window, and I'm
okay.
the window.
You're falling into it. Are you falling forward into it from the outside, or are you following from inside out of it, out to it?
Outside in.
From outside in.
There's someone beyond it that I need to get.
So for you, Thomas, actual Thomas, and for you, Tracy, really see, and what I'm seeing is that you're really connected to, I'm thinking someone, right? My current speculation. And just notice if there's any emotion, Thomas, or anything, as you see this being that Milton is bringing forward. So take that in. Tracy, what's going on for you? Thomas's rep.
Well, I was before Milton came into view. I was feeling a lot of like feeling like I was really grounding into the earth and really planting myself. But then there was kind of like some also a lot of energy, just kind of like movements, kind of like antsy, kind of like almost like two rooted, but then But then once Milton came in, I kind of became like a little bit more like frozen. And I'm feeling that now. There's like a calm, kind of like there's a like something. Milton is kind of relaxing me, and yeah, I don't feel as antsy about being over here.
Yep. So even though energetically he's in front of you, I want you to take a look at him in the screen and just notice what you notice. So he's still right in front of you, but I just want you to see him directly. How is that for you, Thomas's rep?
Seeing Milton, I feeling more held and feeling a sense of I'm not alone. I'm not. Yeah, he's just holding me. It feels.
Okay, so Janice, let me go. Okay, let me go to you. Janice next, Milton, then I'm going to go to you. Janice, what's up?
So Thomas is in my upper left, and Milton is at my upper right, and I want to like bring them have them included in some space. So I definitely feel a desire to connect them.
Mm-hmm. You can try that and we can see what happens. But you know, always check in whether it's a desire or whether it's time to happen.
It's more desire.
Thank you. Milton, as the one that Thomas is looking at, what's happening?
So I feel like I've reached out and I'm connected to Thomas's heart. I feel like somehow I'm warming his heart. I'm awakening his heart. I'm activating his heart.
For the three of you watching also, just notice if you ever get drawn in, sometimes you'll pick up things in the field and you'll be a missing piece. So if you're ever pulled into the constellation, let me know. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I'll check in with, let me check in with you guys in just a minute. And I see Mihaela nodding also, so I'm gonna check. Milton, are you complete?
Yes, I'm focusing on Thomas's heart.
Yeah. What I'm projecting onto this, Thomas, right now is you have a deep connection with someone. We don't know who it is yet, but it's a deep loving connection actually. And it's probably someone that's passed over and it may be part of the life force piece. It's my guess. I don't know. We'll see. Thomas's rep.
I got lots of shivers when you said that, John.
Thank you. Thomas's rep, anything else before I go to Wout and Mihaela?
I feel like my heart is like this whole my whole chest area, like as if it's like this it's growing like almost outside of my body, and yeah, and I just feel like Milton is just like really has a hold on it, like is hugging this whole area here. It's a very large area, and it's tender and soft, and it's almost like it hasn't felt this kind of a connection, or just kind of like this kind of a holding, an embrace like this.
Okay, great. Thank you.
I don't feel like a person, I feel like a spirit.
Do you sense that from a place of someone who's passed over on the other side? I mean, that's my assumption. But that may mean, I don't know, not human or something. I don't know.
Can't tell. I
But
feel
something on the other side, something in the spirit realm.
I feel of human nature, humanoid, but a spirit.
Yeah. Okay, thank you. Wout, you feel you're pulled into this? What's going on?
Oh, since 5 or 10 minutes, I've become really, really tired. It's been hard to remain here with you guys. Really, I feel like I just want to either sleep deeply or just get away from here. And at the same time, whenever something around the heart is mentioned, I do really feel it.
Okay. Perhaps
It's almost like
representing.
it's almost like I want to keep sleeping until my heart opens. That's what came to me.
Thank you. So while you can follow any movements, if you have movement, like if you want to go lay on your bed, see like your bed behind, if you want to go lay on your bed or whatever, just follow whatever's true for this energy. And this is kind of that, I'm assuming, we'll see, that depressed energy that Thomas is speaking to. Like you're bringing that in to the field. Mahela, how are you? Anything?
I'm okay. At some point, I was just feeling really drawn to Milton. I'm not sure if I'm anything yet, or if I'm in a constellation. I'm just sensing his energy.
Good. Raise your hand and let me know if, I won't check with you, but raise your hand and let me know if something happens.
Okay.
Thomas, how are you? What's alive?
Yeah, when Milton said that about the heart, I once again tears came to my eyes and felt a lot of energy, expansion. Now I think after Wout spoke, I also felt a little bit of heaviness in me.
Okay. Barbara, what's happening?
So I have this sense of this idea of be careful, be careful. What can feel like love can overwhelm. And I felt a lot of movement in me. I just felt like I had to brace myself because the wave of good and a push and pull just keeps coming at me. And although Milton's hands are out with love, I'm like, I think I feel like I can't be close to Thomas because those hands are keeping me away. I feel like, be careful, just be careful. And I just feel like I have to brace myself.
Yeah. Hold on, Janice. Janice, do you have something important?
Well, similar to Barbara, I reacted to Wout coming in, and the reaction is I feel weak.
Yeah. It's like you're so connected to whoever this being is in some way, Thomas, that it's almost like drowning. is my sense. Lifeboat or something like that, and then you're trying to save this person, and yet it's taking you both down.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
I feel a lot of energy in my hands. I feel
Mm-hmm. Let's
enormous force here.
let's do this, Milton. I want to test the lineage. So what I want you to do is find your place right behind Tracy. So right behind her. So in the parents' generation. And then I want you to take one step farther back into the grandparents' generation. And you know how to do this at this point. What we're doing, Thomas, is testing to see if we can figure out how far back this being is that you're entangled with. In the work we call it entanglement. And Tracy, you also pay attention to, as he steps back, where you feel the strongest charge. A lot of times we can discern from this.
I feel one step back.
So grandparents generation.
I think so.
Thomas's rep, what happens for you as Milton steps back like this? What do you notice?
Feeling a pull to the maybe even one step further back to great.
And Janice, did you nod when you heard that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Great grandparent.
Great. Yeah.
Good. Great. So that's what we look for, Thomas, to multiple corollaries. Well, you just raise your hand if anything ever strikes you, okay? And I'll pull on you because I'll keep my eye on your screen also. And Milton, I want you to do another test. I want you to step to your left for the mother's side of the lineage. And I want you to step to your right for the father's side of the lineage. Let's see where there's the most impact. And also Thomas's rep and Janice notice.
On the mother's side, I feel softness. And on the father's side, I feel intensity, tightness. But I also feel like I'm part of a circle.
Okay.
Huge circle.
Thomas's rep, did you notice an impact on one side or the other?
Yeah, I did. I felt it on the father's side.
Yeah.
There, an intensity, like a an intensity, and like a tragedy.
Not tragedy. Okay. Janice, how about
I
you?
felt, and the mother, this would be great grandmother, I felt solid and grounded. I felt solid and grounded, and I didn't feel as grounded on the other side as a grandmother. I have to step away just 1 second.
Okay.
Feel like I grab onto something.
Yeah. Mahela, how are you?
Yeah, I had some sensations in my spine at some points. I do have a feeling I might be connected to Milton. I'm not sure.
Okay. So let me check in with Mahela or Elizabeth. Do either of you feel called to come in great grandfather, dad's side, or he mentioned like maybe this tragedy. So to step into that area within the lineage and see what's there. Do either of you feel the pull or the call to do that? Okay. All right, cool. Thank you.
I feel like I found some source of strength, and I'm standing up as extremely tall. So I have a pillar of strength now, but very tight.
Mahela?
I feel sensations when he's saying that. I feel sensations through my body.
Okay. Why don't you just come in and just see what you are?
Sure.
Thank you. Just bring your energy and maybe you're just tracking things. I'm not sure, but bring that in.
Mm.
Thomas's rep, how are you?
Yeah, I'm feeling like I'm somewhat feeling like a little boy, kind of just like watching and waiting, and watching like what's gonna happen, like how. And it's not really, it's not that I don't feel safe. I think I'm just watching on the sidelines. But yeah, there's something there on that great-grandfather's side that has really grabbed my curiosity, and there was almost like a curious watching.
Good. What do we know about your great-grandfather and that part of your history lineage, Thomas?
My great-grandfather, I think he died young because he weren't part of the upbringing of my grandfather. He grew up with his mother, I think. And then this friend of the family came in and sometimes took my grandfather for trips. So I think he was absent. At what age did he go away? I don't know.
Okay. Milton, and then I'll go to you, Mahela.
Oh, good.
I feel somehow I feel like I'm a soldier. I found strength in being a soldier, part of a force.
Mm-hmm.
And yet when Tracy, as Thomas started talking, I started to soften. I started to relax a bit.
Okay. Mahela, what do you notice?
Yeah, I'm feeling wobbly, pretty weak. I'm cold, and I'm having shivers all over my body. Yeah. So there's something. Yes, when someone was speaking, I think it might have been Milton, or about the grandfather's side, something around that. That's when it kind of was going through.
Okay. Janice, what's going on for you?
When Milton, I think Milton was talking, but I wasn't really listening, but I found myself reaching for something. It's like I got a blow or a stab on my back, and I felt myself just like going down.
When who was talking? Milton?
Milton, and I was feeling the great grandfather.
Good. So Milton and Janice, can you two well, I'm not sure if I want to go this direction. Let me check in myself. Well, anything new to report?
Yeah. In the beginning, like, well, let's say 4 minutes ago, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. So let's say 4 minutes ago, I was really feeling like, please, can we make this go over? Like, I really almost wanted to leave Zoom. Like, what the fuck, feeling so bad. And now something interesting is happening in the last minute, especially when he mentioned, I feel like I'm ready to go to war or something, or I'm a soldier, or I don't know. And I felt my right hip getting quite tight and really a lot of energy where I barely feel energy, which is my lower part here, my lower belly, my perineum. And yeah, it's kind of getting denser. There's more aliveness, but not really aliveness, but it's just more present, more in the forefront, you know.
Okay, good.
Lower belly, yeah.
Thank you. Mihaela, quick check-in with you, and then I want to go to Janice and Milton.
Yeah, I'm just, I have a feeling I might fall over to the front. And when Wout was speaking, I had shivers around soldier thing as well, going upwards in my body.
Okay, good. So Milton is holding that soldier energy. Great-grandfather in the military, do we know? Thomas? Not sure.
No, I don't know.
Okay.
I'm feeling I noticed my body tense up and almost like freeze, like I'm tied up.
Okay.
I kind of just I realized that, yeah, like I just feel like my arms are bound and tied up. And it was right before Milton mentioned he felt like a soldier.
Okay. Good. Thank you. Well, quick one. What do you got?
I'm just sad and I want to be seen.
Okay. Thank you. Janice and Milton, what's going on for the two of you?
So I feel like I've passed on and my spirit has risen and I'm just in the heavens now. I feel a lot of motion, and I went from feeling tight, closed up, and tall, and now I feel like I've passed.
Okay. Janice, what's going on for you?
So I felt like I was just picking up something. I didn't feel I was representing a person so much as picking up something about that person.
A story.
And now I have this pull towards wanting to know about great-grandfather's son.
Okay. Barbara, anything you want to report?
Yeah, early on, when Milton identified himself, I felt like before he mentioned that he felt better, I felt like my only job here is to help this person feel strong. Just as life force, it was just a few seconds later, he said, I feel strong, and I feel like I do sense that that was huge in the like feeling that's the purpose. But as you talk to the son, I'm taken over to Ward. So I have a sense that it's connected to this overwhelming energy that pulls us down or pulls. I'm really, my focus is there now. It feels like the job is there.
And by the son, you're speaking about what Janice mentioned?
Yes.
Good.
Yes. Just, I feel very agitated by that. That's like, I feel like I have to go do something, but I can't figure out exactly what it is. And
Okay.
that really awoke me.
Okay, good. Elizabeth, you're on the clock. You're the closer. I don't know. We'll see. So let's have you come in as the grandfather, the son. Milton, what I want you to do, I want to clarify your role. And let's just check this. I want you to let that go, whatever you're representing. And I want you to come in very consciously, so we'll just name you as great-grandfather. Michaela, I'm curious about similar thing with you, having you come in as great-grandmother.
Great-grandmother?
Yes.
Myself?
Yes. So kind of let that role go. And tune into great-grandmother. Milton is your husband, great-grandfather. And Elizabeth, you are coming in as their son, Thomas's grandfather. So let's let these energies settle.
There's a lot of movement inside on this, just so you know. I'm going to be going slowly.
Thank you. Thomas's rep, what do you notice when we bring in your great-grandfather, your great-grandmother, and your grandfather?
Feeling like I need to be grounded and settled, and there's the wash of yeah, there's a lot of activity. It's not totally clear yet, but I feel like I'm kind of like I have to prepare to kind of just like be settled, so just kind of like watch and be ready.
When you see the three of them on the screen, who are you most drawn to?
Elizabeth, the grandfather.
Good, thank you. Janice, any change for you?
I've receded back. It's like I've receded back into the back. I'm not so important right now.
Good, thank you. Barbara, what are you drawn to? What do you notice, life force?
So I see Elizabeth and I'm feeling agitated, just not like, just a lot of movement and anxious in this.
Thank you. Thomas, how are you?
Yeah, I have a lot of energy going on in me. Like sometimes I feel like I almost have to move a little bit. It's yeah, all over.
Yeah. What happens, Thomas, when you see your grandfather, who Elizabeth is representing? You just take in eye contact, and if grandfather, if you can see your grandson. And Tracy, you follow this also with your energy. Well, you ever let me know if you start feeling better, right? Give me a heads up if something impacts you.
I'm getting slightly better as we progress. I felt like I wanted to come closer and see what was going on, and you know.
Awesome, thank you. So, Thomas, what happens when you see your grandfather?
Yeah, well, it's a little bit dead. It's yeah.
Try these words. Let's see if they resonate. Maybe Tracy, what happens? Tracy, let's start with you actually. What happens when you see the grandfather? What do you notice?
They're kind of like a sinking feeling.
Try these words and see if this feels true. So we use statements and movements in the field to kind of test truth. This is where the deadness is. And change it if you need it, or don't say it if it's not true.
Is this for Thomas or for me as his representative?
This is for you, Tracy, to say.
This is where deadness is.
Or I feel dead here.
I feel dead here.
Does that feel true?
Feels somewhat true.
Somewhat true?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, let me check in with them. Michaela is the great grandmother. What's going on?
I feel love towards Milton, and I can't see my son at all. He's not in my field. And when people are talking about him, I kind of go down. There's some darkness that I feel, almost like some, I don't know, repulsion maybe, or I'm not sure, but he's not in my field.
Thank you.
And it's interestingly now when you said the sentences for Tracy, I couldn't hear it. It's almost like parts of it were just out. Yeah.
Thank
I'm
you.
hearing, but I'm listening, but I'm not hearing.
Good information. Great grandfather, how are you? Milton.
So I feel that we're in a family portrait. My wife is here, my son is in front, and we're frozen. I feel like this is as far as we go with the family portrait, but I feel my son carries on.
Thank you. Grandfather, Elizabeth, how are you?
Well, I definitely can relate to feeling dead. I can barely lift my head.
You definitely can relate to feeling dead.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like everything is so heavy.
And Thomas's rep, I want you to imagine something. I see your arm kind of spread out on your couch right there. I want you to imagine that arm around your grandfather. I want you to imagine that he's there in your arm. And that you're holding him in some way of connection. I see grandfather popped his head up. Grandfather, what happens when Thomas's rep puts his arm around you?
I felt like I wanted to see what was happening and feel what was happening. I could feel some lightness coming in.
Yeah. And Thomas's rep, you say, I remember you. And Tracy, can you say that?
I remember you.
I've always remembered you.
I've always remembered you.
Even when others talked bad about you.
Even when others talked bad about you.
Is that okay to say? Is that true?
Yeah, that feels true. It's like yeah, it feels strange and somewhat distant to say that. Like we're familiar but unfamiliar, and linked but not linked.
Okay, thank you. Well, you had something?
Yeah, I was definitely feeling some kind of energy moving or some energy on the back of my heart. Also, in the last half minute, I was feeling really able to relax into deep sleep.
That's good, I think. I think that's a positive sleep. Grandfather, how are you?
It felt really good to hear that I was seen.
So take that in, Thomas. Feels really good that someone remembered me, that someone sees me, someone sees my suffering, how I suffered, the deadness in me. So while that's happening, Janice, you had something?
Yes, when grandfather was saying that, I've been sort of like just sitting back. But when grandfather said that as light, I wanted to come and stand behind grandfather and kind of illuminate.
Good. So let's bring a spotlight in a way on grandfather behind him. I also noticed the darkness in that screen, Elizabeth.
Yeah.
So just feel the illumination come in behind you, illumination perhaps of your journey, of your story. Great grandmother, what's going on?
For me, I needed to sit down. I just felt I need to sit down. I'm so tired. Yeah, I'm here.
Great grandfather, what's going on?
No change. I feel.
Other side.
I feel she's here. I feel son is here. I feel part of the portrait.
How is that for you to hear, great grandmother?
For me?
Yeah.
I'm not hearing much. It just feels like it's an image, and I feel like this is what I feel inside. Like I actually am not well.
Yeah.
She's still holding on to that image, and I'm not there anymore.
Thank you.
Mm.
Grandfather, how are you?
I can feel a deep resonance when my mother speaks. I feel her not being there.
Positive or negative?
Like it was a yearning I had at one point.
Yeah. Yeah. I want to try this. I can't believe we're actually 2 hours in, which I can't believe. I'm like, what the hell happened? So I'm gonna, because I'm totally in the flow of the constellation. Like I'm not even thinking about time. Does anybody have a hard time stop or need that they need to make? If this goes, let's say another, I don't know, it could go another 30 minutes. Might not go that long.
Need to check my time.
I'm okay for 10. I'm going to also say that once the grandfather, I acknowledged grandfather, and it was almost like a big weight was lifted off of me, and I don't feel this heaviness anymore. I feel like this lightness and a feeling of just like release and possibility.
I think what I'm feeling called to do is actually have great grandfather and great grandmother lay down It's kind of like taking a place amongst the dead, with respect. You can sit if you need, great grandfather. I mean, but just the idea of more resting in peace. And it's possible we've seen what we need to see. So the way constellations work, Thomas, in a way, is when we can see the original entanglement and take it in a conscious way and honor it and respect it, many times that can free us up to not do it unconsciously. And that these beings just need to be seen. Their fate needs to be acknowledged. Their story needs to be reviewed. Hey, reviewed, that's one word, reviewed. Life force, how are you? Well, let's check in with kind of the goal, life force.
It's interesting. I have a sense that life force has been powerful and almost pushy, and now it feels that it feels like I'm softer and sitting next to everybody. I want to be closer to them and softer and comforting. That's just it just feels feels good.
Mm-hmm. Thomas's rep, how are you doing?
Yeah. That feels true. What from that life force feeling.
Closer?
Yeah, that feels true. That resonates with me. A cotton sense of calm.
Good, great. Grandfather, how are you?
Like each movement, when my parents left and laid down, I felt more alive and like I could lean back into the support of what's behind me. And to have life force soften, then I started feeling something right here. And then when my grandson spoke, yeah, movement.
Grandfather, I want you to check in and see if this feels appropriate or right for you. I want you to go into the light. Like, I want you to kind of take a step over a threshold to a place where there's so much more energy. There's so much more vitality and life force. Sort of a little ritualistic in a way. Yeah, actually, maybe take a step through the window out into the light. I don't know if you can do that. I see that sliding glass door behind you. Where you're leaving the living and going to the other side in a good way, into the light. Thomas and Thomas's rep, I want you to see this. I want you to take this in. And if it feels appropriate, grandfather, if it feels appropriate, imagine yourself ascending upwards.
Wow, that was disorienting.
In a good way or a negative way?
In a good way.
Good. Thomas's rep, how was that for you?
Yeah, I felt like I wanted to go out there with him.
We have to be cautious around that.
Yeah.
Just make sure, sometimes, other souls will want to join, and it's kind of like, well, it's not your time yet. I don't know if that's how you meant it, but I tell you what, Thomas's rep, take that image into your heart. Thomas, take that image into your heart of your grandfather, who I believe you have a very strong and loving connection with, his suffering. But take that image into your heart of him ascending. Wout, do you have anything you need to report? Are you doing well?
I'm doing quite fine.
Quite fine.
Yeah, I'm just feeling little sensations here and there. Things are lightening up. It's all well.
Good. I think this is pretty much the end. Let me do a check-in with Janice.
Yes, I realized that initially I was the light supporting Thomas, but actually where I really belonged was the light supporting grandfather.
Great. So, yeah.
And then I transitioned to grandfather.
Thank you. Anyone else have anything that needs to be reported?
I want to share, when I stepped out in the light, the wind came in to support me too. And I had called that in earlier. So powerful.
Beautiful. Thomas, anything else? Is it okay if we close it here?
Yeah, yeah. When stepping out into the light, I just when you said it, I felt my heart. I felt tears of joy.
Beautiful. All right, here's how I like to do our close release. I want you to hold the energy in your hand. So put whoever you represent, even imagine him as a little figure, or the person or the energy is a little figurine, if you will, in your hand. So feel all the energy flow up in your hand, while, holding that tiredness, great grandfather, great grandmother, grandfather. And feel that. Now, Thomas, you put your hand up to the screen, the camera, to receive. And all of us are going to give this energy back to Thomas. Thomas, take it in, not just you, but all the way back to your great grandparents, right? Just feel your whole lineage taking this energy back and flow it to him. And then as you feel complete with letting that go, then pull your hands back. Thomas, you stay there receiving.
Man.
Nice. Good. Thank you. And Thomas, yeah, how are you first? And then we'll go around the circle for closing checkouts. And I want to check in with you first. Thomas, how are you doing?
Yeah, I'm feeling a lot calmer, very open, loving, a lot of gratitude. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like a weight came off my shoulders.
Thank you.
Thank you.